Alright, what is going on, ladies and gentlemen? Randy here with RTS Mobile Gaming, bringing you another amazing video today. We are playing The Lord of the Rings Rise to War, and in today's video we are talking about Yusraa. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll be taking a look at a few combat reports from Yusraa. So, into this particular video, we are deep into enemy territory here. My fort, Peen Town, is 6 minutes and 40 seconds from completion. We have a few other forts here. We have Hello YouTube from Mandek and Hi Mom, I'm on TV from Simlord, okay? We got Mad King here. We got everybody over here. I got Invictus. Everybody is here, ready to go. Mad King, the Kraken, Instinctus, sorry, not Invictus, I apologize. I've got the Stallion, I got Taco. Everybody's here, and we are killing things. So, as I march with 2 minutes and 50 seconds to go to attack this target, let's go ahead and take a look at these Yusraa reports. So, I've been doing a lot of Yusraa fighting over the past couple days, mainly the past one day, and I've got 3 reports to look at with you that are not super exciting, okay? I have seen underwhelming performance from Yusraa in all of her PvP reports to date. I haven't had any smoking wins yet, so let's take a look at the build and talk about potential reasons why, okay? Now, to start with this Khaldoon build, let's go and start the game off with the Yusraa. We'll spend a minute or two on each report and go from there, okay? The Yusraa build is focused on the twin daggers. I have twin daggers here for double strike rounds 1, 2, 3. Then we have the Great Plate of the East, which is going to give me good HP as well as defense, well, I guess damage reduction for the first 2 hits. Then we have the Bone Mask, which is going to be more plus HP as well as Madness. And then lastly, we are running Wizard's Firework with Pursuit, okay? Pursuit is really beautiful for a lot of fights, especially against Gandalfs and Gil-galads and things like that. So don't discount the Pursuit, although you may decide to go with something that gives you plus 3 HP and then healing, like you know, something like that, or maybe Drums of Moria with plus 3 attack with some unit speed. Really preference, okay? The build, I'm running the top R0 tree maxed out for Yusraa damage. I'm running the R5 tree maxed out for Interrogator debuff and stun and laceration. And then all remaining points, I'm trying to get Evil Alliance leveled up for damage mitigation, okay? Unit-wise, I'm running a mixture, primarily Halberdiers for damage. Then I have a small number of Dragoons here for a little bit of tankiness and applying damage instances to the laceration bleed. And then we have War Chariots here to apply their own bleed and deal decent damage as well, okay? The Khaldoon I'm fighting against, I'll just spend 5 seconds on him, okay? Pretty basic. He's got the Fang of the East, which means he's anti-cavalry. It means he'll take 16% reduced damage from my Dragoons and my War Chariots. This is actually a big deal. This, combined with Khaldoon's other tanky abilities, makes him very, very resistant to physical damage and overall damage from mounted units, especially the first couple rounds, okay? So you'll see in the report my mounted units deal almost no damage. The next item worth talking about is his helmet. He is running an anti-madness helmet. This, of course, is going to counter the first 2 instances of hysteria from my own helmet, making it more difficult to cause madness and also making it more difficult to apply Interrogator debuff and use it effectively if I can't apply madness in round 3. Okay? Skill-wise, he's got the bottom R0 and the R5 trees maxed out. Okay? Into the report itself, you can see here 180 versus 146. That means that this Khaldoon put out about 20% higher damage than my Yusraa plus army. So Khaldoon's composition, 20% higher damage than Yusraa's composition, okay? Yusraa, even with that damage dealing build maxed out, only put out 62k damage because Khaldoon is so great at mitigating physical damage output, okay? So really, it's ironic. You don't want to run Corsairs with Yusraa because Corsairs will not trigger her Interrogator bleed in rounds 4 or 5. However, Corsairs would have been very effective versus this Khaldoon because he happens to be anti-physical. So it's kind of ironic. If I had swapped out Dragoons for Corsairs, I probably would have won this or at least got a better half of the draw. Okay? But you never know what you're going into, right? You can't know every attack. So you build the best build you can and go from there. Let's take a look at rounds 1, 2, and 3 real quick, and then we'll jump to the next report, okay? All right. Here in round one, guys, we are going to apply Hysteria on the Dragoons. They are afflicted by madness. It looks like maybe the helmet did not make them immune from madness in this case. Oh yeah, look at that. The helmet did not make them immune from madness here in round one. So, yay for me. Okay, I'm going to attack. I'm going to apply, look at Yusraa's applying Hunt Down. Very nice. Halberdiers will be debuffed with damage received, plus they're going to have reduced defense, speed, and overall damage, okay? Look at this. See what I'm saying? Double stacks, plus the 14% or 16% on the weapon. You are looking at ridiculously low damage received from cavalry for the first 4 rounds. Very, very powerful mitigation abilities on Khaldoon. He is so strong with mitigation. War Chariots coming in, applying their bleed and the scythe, okay, to the halberdiers with 30% reduction. Then they're applying a bleed to the dragoons with a 60% reduction, okay, which means the bleeds will do almost nothing. Those bleeds will be very, very low damage because of that mitigation, okay? As you can see here, point made, right? Hitting the halberdiers, they should be taking more damage from bleeds. However, because there is 74% reduced damage taken from cavalry from that one attack from the scythe, they are taking almost no damage from the bleed. All right? Just so you understand the mechanics on that. Okay, we're into round 2, guys. Round 2, Khaldoon is reducing my War Chariots stats by 20% overall. Okay, my War Chariots are taking some decent damage now from the Dragoons. Yusraa coming in hot and heavy, hitting the Corsairs in the face. Okay, look at that. Double damage mitigation drops my collaboration damage down to almost nothing. Alright? Okay, here's some more disappointing bleed damage. So, I mean, if you get the picture right, I'm not hitting for a lot of damage here. I'm hitting for hundreds of damage. Hundreds of damage, that's it. They're hitting for thousands. Oh my goodness. I'm finally dealing some decent damage here with the halberdiers in round 2. But that's it. I mean, they have not been putting out good damage because so much anti-cavalry here. Alright, enemy dragoons get a double strike in round 3. Okay, I do apply Interrogator to all of the enemies. Then I try to apply Hysteria, Madness to the Corsairs. They are immune. This means the Corsairs will not receive bonus 138% damage, okay? Because they are immune to Madness. The helmet worked. So I may hit the Corsairs, but it won't be for very much, okay? I mean, that's the fight, guys. That's it. There's not a whole lot else to look at. Good mitigation by Khaldoon, was able to outperform Yusraa's physical damage and cavalry damage output. So, again, if I swapped out the Dragoons for Corsairs, I might have won this fight or done it better on the draw. Okay. Let's look at the next report here. I have another report to look at with you. This is going to be a Sauron report, okay? This is Yusraa versus Sauron, and yes, this is a tier 1 versus a tier 3. He is also running anti-physical damage Oathbreakers, so highly resistant to physical damage. Any damage I hit the Oathbreakers with will be dramatically reduced, right? As you know, they have this 90% physical damage mitigation, so we'll go from there, okay? In this report itself, let's take a look. Damage output, okay, looks like I did take some self-damage from Madness. I dealt about 180k damage overall. The enemies received 150k, which means I dealt about 30k self-damage due to Madness, okay? Overall damage output, Sauron had good damage at 140k, and his units had good damage at another 140k. But again, since I did self-damage, that puts us up to the 300 range. Okay? Alright. So here the Halberdiers, the talk of the show, putting out the most damage. It looks like my War Chariots didn't do a whole lot. And then Yusraa, again here, only 61k damage output overall. Okay? We'll take a look at the first 2 or 3 rounds. Let's see what happens in round 1 and round 3. See if the interrogator debuff is able to be used in rounds 3 and 4. Okay, here we go into round 1. Yusraa getting some attacks off. Okay, diminishing the Oathbreakers. The Oathbreakers take dramatically reduced damage, of course. The Dragoons, beset with madness, attack their own troops. That's never fun. The War Chariots, afflicted by madness, but still able to get the War Scythes out onto the enemy. Okay, so we have 1200 damage tick. I wonder what the bleed's going to be. I only have 49 War Chariots on the field, so the bleed may not be too substantial. Okay, and then here we go, Halberdiers. Oh, there's the Oathbreakers coming in, hitting for focus damage, so that'll be good. The Halberdiers hitting the Dragoons. Ladies and gentlemen, the bleed is ticking for 184. It's not a whole lot. It's better than nothing. If it does tick 10 or 15 times in the first few rounds, I'll get my money's worth out of it. Halberdiers with a double strike there on the Dragoons and the Halberdiers, enemy Halberdiers. Okay, so not too bad performance in round 1. Let's jump down to round 3. I want to see round 3 with Interrogator. So here's the Interrogator debuff being applied to the enemies. Okay, the Oathbreakers have been afflicted by madness, so they will receive 138% increased damage for the next few rounds. Okay, Soul Siphon here. A lot of healing coming from Soul Siphon. Look at that. Oh my goodness. Okay, Dragoons hitting the Halbs. I'm looking for attacks on the Oathbreakers. So the War Chariots are hitting the Oathbreakers here. All right. Okay. And I did get an attack on the Oathbreakers. So even though the Oathbreakers get 90% reduced damage received, since I increased their damage received by 138k, that means I dealt about 48k plus damage to them. Okay. 48%, okay? That's how that calced out, because it's additive and subtractive. So they normally have 90% mitigation. In this instance, they took 48% more, okay? And now I have Restraint and Stun. Unfortunately, not on the Oathbreaker, but now all 3 units have the debuff. I've now applied Laceration to... Oh, no! What is this? Look at this. What's this? I applied Laceration twice to the Dragoons? Can it do that? Okay, well there you go. Now the Dragoons have Laceration, but it doesn't stack, so it actually wasted a Laceration. That's so upsetting to me. I didn't know you can do that. That's terrible. That's a terrible mechanic. Why can you apply Laceration to the same target? I don't understand. Why would it do that? That's terrible. The Oathbreakers are still alive. Oh, so upsetting. Okay, so the Dragoons are taking 2,700 increased damage for each bleed tick, okay? Lots of bleed damage here. The War Chariots are out. Halberdiers hitting the Dragoons. Okay, a lot of damage. And now I'm going to see... I mean, that's the fight, guys. What else do you want to look at? They're going to keep taking bleed damage, but all in all... you know, it is what it is. So this report was not a W. It was a good effort. You know, I'm not upset by it, especially because the enemy is using Oathbreakers. I'm just not happy with how the mechanics have been adding up for me here. I'm not seeing enough return from the War Chariots. I don't think these, you know, I was hoping they would be a decent combination because they do have the early damage from Scythe, but they really haven't been dealing a whole lot of damage for me. So I'll probably take the War Chariots out. And then lastly, the last report that we'll look at is just going to be, let me just hold on my back in 1 second. The last report we're going to spend 10 seconds on is a Witch King. You already know what happened here. Okay, if you were hoping Yusraa was going to be able to beat Witch Kings, you were incorrect. Of course, the enemy Witch King. Did I even show you Sauron's gear, by the way? Let me, sorry, 5 seconds. Here is Sauron's gear, okay? There's the gear and build. All right. Get a Witch King. I'm not even going to look at the report for Witch King. You already know what happened, okay? Enemy Witch King here, strong gear, strong build, ready to rock and roll. Running War Drummers, which are very powerful units, giving their own units bonus damage as well as cleansing debuffs. Okay, War Drummers are crazy OP. And because of that, let's see here. The Dragoons did 0 damage, so they probably got hit by the Alchemists first. It looks like the War Chariots got hit by the Alchemists next and were killed before they could really get any damage out. Okay. Enemies, let's see here. The Alchemists really came in hot and heavy with a lot of damage. The War Drummers had a lot of damage as well, believe it or not. And then the Swan Knights were able to absorb all of my damage without me killing the enemies, okay? So, you already know the tail of the tape. I'm not even going to go into that report. I'll go into it for 5 seconds. If you've already stuck with me to minute 15, you deserve to see the round 2. I'm just going to jump to round 2. Okay? Look, round 1. Okay, I knew it. Round 1, my Dragoons die, and then my Halberdiers. And by the way, this is with 30% damage mitigation, okay? My Halberdiers with 30% damage mitigation from hazard training still took 54k damage. That's a lot of damage. Okay. Alright. Okay, everybody's stunned in round 1. Here in round 2, the War Drummers have given their units plus 20% damage output. The War Drummers are afflicted by madness, therefore deal self-damage, which is great. The Alchemists come in here and just wiping out my units here, absolutely wiping them out. Just a lot of damage. It's a Witch King. What do you want me to say? Yusraa wasn't designed to kill Witch King, okay? Nobody was designed to kill Witch King in this report, alright? So here in round 3. In round 3, I'm going to apply the debuffs. Okay, the debuffs have been applied. I'm going to madness the Alchemists. So the Alchemists are madness. Maybe they'll do some self damage, like that. So they're afflicted by madness. They still deal damage to my own units. And I'm not able to deal damage back to them. Okay? That's the report, guys. Witch King versus Yusraa. So, thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this recap on Yusraa PvP, give me that like and sub. I love you long time. If I have any good reports with Yusraa, I'll make sure I share those. But these, all 3, have been quite disappointing. Okay? So, love you long time. Randy out.